New Thursday means no patch. Hidden Bunker has been removed temporarily because of an exploit where people were able to glitch into the Hidden Bunker or glitch through walls. Now, that's a big problem because players were using it to get a bunch of trial points. Thing is, now with Hidden Bunker gone, the remaining legit players who haven't been able to spend time doing trials are basically screwed, right? If you want to take part in the trial system and you haven't played at the start of the week, you can't now. You just can't. There's no way you're going to compete with all these people. The devs said they are looking into this and hopefully there'll be something to rectify this issue, but there's a bit of a problem with the current release schedule of Arc Raiders. The trials start on Monday and balance changes happen on Thursday. So if you play early on in the week and get your trials done then, you are going to have a massive advantage to anybody who can only play after Thursday to make progress on their trials after whatever nerfs or balance updates end up coming around the corner. So this is a really flawed system that has caused a lot of people quite a lot of frustration. I think we are in a bit of a period of time where Arc Raiders could potentially continue to be an extremely successful, enjoyable game, or people start to get a little bored and frustrated and start to leave. Luckily, there should be another big update just around the corner with the big snowfall update and all of that content, the new sort of season and that stuff. Hopefully that'll be a good one. But it's a little bit frustrating to deal with some of the issues in the game that seem easy enough on the surface to fix. I mean, there's a very common wall glitch on Stella Montes that a lot of people are using. There's still a zipline out of the map that you can just grab onto and get out of the map. I feel like that seems like an easy enough fix to get rid of. I'm not sure, just delete a zipline in the map and then update the map and push that update out. Maybe that could have been included in this week's update. I don't know. But that means we've got another week of dealing with wall exploiters, which is a bit of a pain. I think that this game never expected to be this popular. It happens a lot with live service games. They have a plan, and then suddenly it gets extremely popular out of nowhere, and they are swamped with issues that they just weren't expecting. I don't think the dev team currently working on Arc Raiders is quite big enough to deal with the issues and the pace of content that the players are expecting. So, we've seen this before. My best bet, if you're getting frustrated with this game and getting bored, is just to wait a little bit. Give the devs some time to build up a stronger dev team, that they are hiring for Arc Raiders, and to get through these sort of teething pains. Is it frustrating? Yes. Is it unfortunate that they're coming into these issues? Yes. Is it unfortunate that the weekly schedule isn't fixing some of the glaring problems with the game, namely glitches? Yes, it is. And I want to see this game do well just as much as everybody else. So, unfortunately, all we can really do is just sort of give it a break, just stay away from Spaceport and Stella Montes until these issues are fixed. Me, personally, I've just given up on trials. Like, I'm doing my 3 stars to get the rewards. Besides that, I am not bothering because we've just been screwed over again and again. And it's just a really unfair, frustrating system that's basically tied to when you can get online. If you can get online during the Hidden Bunker event, brilliant. If you can't, you're basically screwed, it's just not a very good system. It needs some reworks. I think the trial system as a whole has the groundwork for something great, but it just has problems that make it a frustrating experience to try and compete in. And I hope that with following updates, this kind of issues can be solved. Otherwise, it's just going to be left in the dust for most players. I also think a lot of players are a little bit frustrated with the way they're dealing with the expedition. They've revealed that we could get a number of skill points based on our stash value, but they're withholding on releasing this information until the expedition opens on December 15th, which gives us only a week to prepare. If some of us are going on holiday during that week, it's the holiday season, we might not be able to prepare enough to be able to do the expedition and get the full 5 skill points, which means a lot of players right now are sitting on all of their gear, not feeling confident to touch it because they don't know how much value they will need to do the expedition and get all of the benefits from it, which is a little bit of a glaring problem. in terms of dev communication here. Maybe they aren't sure of how much value they want us to get, and they haven't figured out the answer yet. But that gives us just a little bit of an issue here, right? I've seen so many people afraid to take in their gear, afraid to even play the game because they're worried that they won't have the time to get the full value by the time the expedition is here. Now, it could be a very low value. Maybe we only need like 500,000. Maybe we need 5 million. They don't tell us, which leaves us guessing and a bit in the dark, to be honest. So what exactly is going on? How can Embark, the team that are pushing out weekly updates for the finals and really getting to the swing of things with that game, be having so many problems with Arc Raiders? Well, I talked about it earlier in the video, but it really is just related to a staffing problem. They definitely did not expect this game to do so well. In fact, they purposely gave it a price tag to keep out cheaters, and they realized it was not a popular genre when they were making the game. They expected the extraction genre, Arc Raiders game, to not do that well in terms of numbers. They were happy to accept that it was a niche product, and suddenly it's become extremely popular out of nowhere, and they are way understaffed at this point to deal with the issues that have cropped up. It must be an absolutely frantic time at the Embark office, and it's clear that they just weren't prepared for this whatsoever. We've seen this happen before with other live service games. The most notable was Apex Legends. That game came out and blew up in popularity overnight. The trouble is, the Apex dev team were not expecting that at all, and the following seasons after the game launch struggled massively because the developers were not ready to push out a live service product. People got bored, there weren't content patches, there weren't bug fixes quick enough. The sad story about Apex is it took them quite a couple years to get into the flow of things. Nowadays, the dev team is super responsive. If there's a bug, they can push out a hotfix within hours. Every couple weeks, there's new big content patches with a bunch of fun casual game modes. The rank system is the most balanced it's ever been. They're constantly refining the meta. It's really, really good. But people have left the game already. There is not much of a casual player base left for Apex because it just took them too long to get into the groove of things. If the same thing happens with Arc Raiders and the Embark dev team, the game could go down a little bit of a treacherous path. I love this game, and my advice to you is if you're enjoying it but starting to get frustrated, bear with the team. They desperately need to scale their dev operations as quickly as possible, and that is not an easy task. Finding the right developers with the right skill sets can be pretty difficult. It's not going to be something you can do overnight, unfortunately. Now, that doesn't mean the Embark devs don't deserve a little bit of criticism. They've dealt with live service games before with the finals. Yes, this is a completely separate dev team within the studio, but you would have hoped they would have shared some of their learnings with that game. That game had an amazing launch as well. Not quite as explosive as Arc Raiders, but it did pretty great, and it took them a little while to get into the flow of things there too. It's unfortunate they didn't have a backup dev team ready to help if things were needed. They could have shared resources between studios, but I guess they didn't want to dip into the resources of the finals team. My biggest worry is the holiday period is coming up. If they can't fix these glaring issues and win over community respect before Christmas comes, I'm worried that the game might hit a bit of a slippery slope. I want the best for this game. I want the best for the Embark devs. We can only hope things will get improved quickly. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of content to enjoy in this game still. Let's just hope next week's update kind of fixes some of these issues, and we can hope for more positive things from there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the comments. Cheerio.